Hello everybody, Chris Grant here again. A couple of weeks ago I was at a music store. I don't know if I should say the name of it. I'll just give a clue. It's called Something Center. I was looking at the book section and I came across this book and I started to look at it. It's called Vaideology by Steve Vai. And for those of you who don't know who he is, he's a famous current guitar player. I suggest looking him up on YouTube. But to me, he's more than just a guitar player. He's a teacher. He's got a lot of knowledge of music theory, and all that. So, like I said, I was looking at the book. I was really impressed with it in the store, and I said, I gotta get this book. Now, it's not very thick, but it is jammed with a lot of good information. So I'll just give some highlights of the book. He's got a really great introduction. He talks about, having knowledge of things and experiencing things. Like, you could read about how to swim, but if you've never dove in a swimming pool, you have to experience something. And that's what music is. It's a back and forth between knowledge and using that knowledge for experience. He covers, since he's a guitar player, he covers a lot about the guitar, but this book applies to any instrument. So, of course, he talks about all the notes on the guitar neck, but he goes into ear training. He goes into scales, major scales, minor scales, pentatonic scales, etc., etc. He goes into intervals, and he has excellent charts in here on all the intervals. Then he goes into key signatures, the circle of fifths, and he goes into reading music. Some of the things I've covered in some of my videos, basic sight reading, the staff, the clefs, the ledger lines and all that. He talks about transposing instruments, like an instrument that's not in concert pitch. And, if you were to write that out musically, it would be what clef it would be and what pitch would be middle C in the transposed instrument. It's very interesting. Then he gets into chords, triads, and building on the triads and with chord extensions. There's an excellent chord symbol dictionary in the book. He talks about closed and open voicings of chords, spreading the notes out versus having the notes close together. He goes into note values, things that I've covered in my basic sight reading video. Whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, etc., etc. He has examples of polyrhythms, and he has some small transcriptions of what he did when he was in Frank Zappa, and it's very detailed descriptions. He goes into time signatures, different meters of music, waltzes, 6/8 time, and he goes into composite meters. Towards the back of the book, there's a lot of, how to read guitar tab, what it is, diagrams of different articulations that you do on the guitar. So for a guitar player, this book is a definite plus. He also goes into dynamics, the dynamics of music, how it's written out in music. He also goes into modes, all the modes, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, etc., etc. And he also goes into a lot of other scales and how they're constructed. And then he goes into guitar rhythms at the end. So the book, if you don't have any music theory knowledge, this is a great book to start. It doesn't have everything. I mean, he says it in the book that this is just to get you started with music theory. He could easily do a volume 2 that goes a lot more in depth and has examples, and maybe someday he'll do that. But I think this book is fantastic. It's very comprehensive. It's very well written. I love the diagrams. So I say it's a 10 out of 10. Please like, make comments, and subscribe. Thank you.